You know how a watch is like jewelry for men, but men don't think about it as jewelry because like for men, jewelry has to do something. Like it has to have a use. Like that's what sports is for like many guys is like straight men soap opera.
Welcome to Keep It, cricket media's show about pop culture and politics and what happens when they smack into each other at an alarming speed. I'm your host, Ira Madison III, a television writer and Fall Out Boy fan.
I'm Louis Fertel. I'm a TV writer and Jane Fonda historian.
And I'm Aida Osman. I'm a TV writer and alleged comedian.
Let's get into it.
He is the Emmy Award-winning co-host of Crooked's new-ish sports podcast, Take Line, and the host of the YouTube series All Caps NBA. Please welcome Jason Concepcion.
Thank you for having me. It is a delight and an honor to be here.
Also, that you work for this network and also have an Emmy. What are we doing, the three of us, if we don't have a fucking Emmy? It's really upsetting to me. Where do you keep it? Where is
Truly
it?
nothing.
You have to submit for it. So like let's get the marketing department on that and say, hey, we have a great sizzle reel. We have a particular episode that we think is great. Let's submit.
Okay. As long as you think I have a chance. Yeah.
Shout out to your extensive knowledge of sports. Like you have to have. I had to Google what MLB stood for last week. That's where we're at. Just so you know. Look, that is not my job. That is not my job.
You stay up on like sports, but also pop culture too. And
Yes.
I love that though, because I feel like pop culture, tends to be, sort of like the equalizer for a lot of people. There's people who are into politics and then pop culture, sports and then pop culture, whatever shit the three of us are into. And then pop culture.
Chaos and then pop culture.
Candles.
I mean, it's all the same to me. I love the drama. That's the thing about sports that I like. I love the drama. Like I like numbers and all that stuff. But like I also love when for whatever reason two players just don't like each other. Why don't they like? What is going on? What's the thing? That's the stuff I really like, and that's what draws me to pop culture as well. I just like drama.
I will say that that's one where I'm really looking forward to the Lakers series that's coming out on HBO, like set in the 80s. I'm like, I want 80s LA drug use, players hating each other.
That's right.
Sally Field, want all of that.
Yeah.
And it's I've have a sort of relationship with sports, just like growing up black in the Midwest. So we would always watch the Bulls. We didn't care about the Bucks until I left Milwaukee, but now I care about them and love watching their games. Super Bowl and stuff we'd always watch because we love the Packers. Except my mom was always inexplicably a Cowboys fan, so that was a thing for her to be different. That was her being different. I was like, I'm going to be gay. She was like, I'm going to argue with our family and say I love the Cowboys. But
My mama also loves the Cowboys for no reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think I don't know where it came from or anything.
Do you have particular sports fandoms that defy logic, like they're not from where you're from or whatever, and you just decided that's my team?
All mine are from where I'm from. So it's like, the Knicks, the Mets, the New York Red Bulls, and that kind of stuff.
So
but then,
what is that? Kansas? What is that?
Is it New York City? New York City. And then all my moms I think my moms, thinking about it, were specifically chosen to be like against what my stepdad's sports teams were. Like she likes the Cowboys and he liked the Jets.
So she likes drama too.
She likes drama as well.
I feel like what I love about sports is the drama. Like the reason I would even get into watching like the Lakers at first is because my friend Sam Greisman would always be like, okay, so this person doesn't like this person. They have a feud with this. I mean, that's why The Last Dance was so fun. And I feel like a lot of people get into sports teams that are in a different state. Probably my mom doing this because, it creates drama in their household, right? They're like, I'm not going to like the sports team that everyone else in my family and my friends love.
It allows straight men, to access drama in a way that is socially acceptable. You know how a watch is like jewelry for men, but men don't think about it as jewelry because like for men, jewelry has to do something. Like it has to have a use, even though it's like a $30,000 like gold Rolex that's glittering with diamonds in it. It's not
Nigga, that's a
jewelry
bracelet.
because it's a bracelet, but you can tell time on it. Therefore, it's not jewelry, right? Like that's what sports is for like many guys, is like straight men soap opera.
I also have to appreciate it's a good way into like appreciating a colorway, because every man cave I've ever been in, like, oh, I know you're a Steelers fan because it's black and yellow all over the place. Like, why don't you just say you enjoy interior design? I'm so sick of this. So I think you're right. There's just a lot of different ways to access femininity through sports.
Aida, I like you pitching an interior design show that's centered around sports.
You know we can sell that in a week. Don't tempt the
LeBron's
world.
next great designer.
I feel like that's the one thing that's really great about the Olympics is, well, I guess you could say this is a positive and a negative, but like they sell the personal stories of everybody involved so hard. You could say that they're like a bit too cliche sometimes, or I don't know about dishonest, but like playing on the heartstrings in the same familiar way again and again. But that always gets me involved. That way, when I'm watching, you know, whatever gymnast go up, I'm like looking at the fire in their eyes, and I'm like, I'm thinking about where they were born and their relationship with their supportive mother. You know, like I'm so into it.
I'm like familiar with their shoulder scars and where they got them.
Yeah.
You know, you could. There was a point on American Idol where, like, you know, like as soon as you were introduced to someone, and it was like their mom died weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like
You know they're going to Hollywood. Speaking of Hollywood and the pop culture we were talking about before, you mentioned breaking some pop culture news to someone recently, and Aida doesn't know it yet. So I want you to explain this to her.
Break it again.
I'm ready to break it again. So yesterday, as we're taping this on Tuesday, yesterday it broke that a influencer, Instagram model / TikToker named Naveen J had been approached by one Ben Affleck on Raya, on the app Raya, the celebrity dating app Raya. And I guess the story is she didn't believe it was him, so she unmatched with him, and then he sent her a video that was like, "It's me, Ben Affleck, from Goodwill Hunting in the Town. Why did you unmatch with me?"
Why did you unmatch me? It's me.
And she posted it on, she put it on blast. She put it on TikTok. And the way, first of all, Ben, I'll just say this. Obviously, there's an age difference. We can unpack that in a bit. Ben looked great in the video. I'll just say that. He looked good. And he says, the way he says, "It's me. Why did you unmatch with me?" in the like Batman. He's sounding like Batman when he does it. Will haunt me legitimately for the rest of my days. It is a lot. It is a lot, and the fact that she put it out is crazy.
He looks good, but the camera angle where he's just holding the phone right in front of his face and his like chin is over the camera.
Yeah.
His like angles are Easter Island statue, and he still looks great.
It's like FaceTiming with my mom.
I feel for him because I feel like he's trying to be like funny and ironic and like flirt with this girl, take her to Dunkin' Donuts. I don't fucking know, but like what? Why? This? It just gets misconstrued into this. I mean, it's creepy either way. It's Ben Affleck, but God.
I will say that I have a Raya account, and for gays, it's mostly hairdressers and makeup artists.
That's so quaint.
I work for a celebrity app. If you're gay, but I will say that like that's probably a common thing that he goes through, right? And probably other male celebrities. It's probably like people are like, oh, they're fake, and they unmatch them. But also, if you're on Raya though, I feel like it would be harder to fake being
totally.
Ben Affleck
You can't.
on
Yeah,
that.
you
can't.
So I don't know if I believe her story that she unmatched him because she didn't think it was him. I feel like she did it for some sort of knowing that maybe she'd get a story or something out of it, because it's not like it was Hinge or like Tinder. Right. Like it's Raya. They verify the hell out of you.
It was clearly for the clout. Let's get that absolutely straight. And it's a
call
shame
the city
that this
girls because
happened.
she's clout chasing.
100% it was for the clout. And yes, you're exactly right. Like, to get into Raya, first of all, someone needs to grandfather you in. It needs to be like you have to know somebody on the platform who will vouch for you. as a notable person to be on the platform. Then
Thank you,
there's,
Sam
like,
Lansky, who did that for me. And then I also
Ira, if you
listed.
don't add me, I just need to see it.
I have a pass. I'll get you on it. I also listed Raven Simone as a
You are a
as
psycho.
one, and who I do not know. So maybe I scammed my way on the Raya.
Did
Yeah.
the vouch come in? Did she vouch for you?
I don't know. They probably sent her an email. I've gotten emails from people
Right.
who listed me as a person to vouch for them, and basically like you can respond saying you don't vouch for them, but also if you ignore it, they probably don't do anything to the app. So like that email probably went to Raven's filter.
I was on it for a while. I thank you to Tommy Alters, the co-host of the Old Man and the Three podcasts, and
I love Tommy.
a great human being. He just he texted me like out of the blue, no context, at like 11:30 p.m. Like, yo, you want to be on Raya? That was it.
Like a shady.
This is
back
your
end.
shot.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
Well, because if you have the app, like they will routinely send you like a friend pass to give to people
Right.
that expires, in like a certain amount of time. So basically, you'll get them, at like 11 p.m. and you think, okay, who wants a Raya pass?
But by the way, this is also like a really great advertisement for Raya because it's just, oh yeah, Ben Affleck really saw you. Like you really
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
interacting with him, you know?
Well, I got nothing. Listen, there was 0 dates out of it, but like I used it mainly as a way to be like, oh, what famous people are on here, looking for love.
Someone I remember said they saw Moby on it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Moby,
I'm
that's
still,
a tough.
I am still
that's a
haunted
tough
by Moby's cribs, where he lived
yeah.
in a very minimalist, as in there was no furniture in the house, and it seemed to just be wood everywhere. I don't know how somebody could function in that environment, but
That sounds like a Fred Armisen SNL sketch. That doesn't sound
Yeah.
like a real episode of Chris.
no guarantee he's not like the jig will be up in 5 years, and it turns out he's Fred Armisen. Like it could happen.
I'm still haunted by Moby claiming that he dated Natalie Portman
Right.
for a period of time,
Yes.
like in his bio.
Not
That-
claiming.
Yeah, I mean,
Something
Billie
about
Eilish would
that.
have some things to say about that. She was definitely still yet a girl.
Yes.
Far from a woman.
Yes.
I also have some thoughts about Moby's restaurant, Little Pine, in LA.
Oh.
It's the mac and cheese is actually bomb for white vegan mac and cheese, but there's a lot going on.
He had a tea shop in New York, Teeny, T-N-Y, Tea New York, that I thought was good and that I used to go into, actually. They had like their own lines of teas that they steeped and sold, and then they had like bottled tea like Snapple, like white bougie Snapple, basically. And I thought that was good for a period of time in my life.
T&Y reminds me of the spelling of R.I.P. Britney Spears' restaurant, L-A-N-Y.
Yes.
Not
She had
sophisticated.
a restaurant in L.A. and New York, Aida, at some point back in the day, and it was spelled
I'm over here
L-A-N-Y.
like, is that her middle name? Is that someone's middle
Lani?
name?
Yes.
Jesus.
I'm sure it was
And-
better than Justin Timberlake's awful restaurant, Southern Comfort, where I did have a birthday. I did have a birthday party there once.
One more Moby thought. I am over here trying to find his height because there's no reason for both. Like, is he notoriously short? Why are both restaurants like a play on smallness? What's going on here?
Wow.
He's 5'7".
You're like the Riddler.
Anyway, I'm thinking of Ben in this trying time. It's been a weird period of time for him. Obviously, post rehab, post divorce, post various relationships kind of crumbling. The fact that his struggles at the gate of his house with various packages have become so so important to our daily pop cultural diet must be a weird thing for him. Although I believe that those are set up. People are like,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
those are 100% set up.
They were
no
the
way
adults.
Yes, come on.
Sean and Camila,
Yes.
walking around
That's
the city,
Truly.
walking around the city like, oh, look at the paparazzi's here. And then I'm like struggling to carry all these packages, but also Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes.
But the beautiful thing to come out of this was the paparazzi shots of him hanging out with J-Lo again. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm ready to usher that era back in.
Yes.
Remake Geely. Remake Geely, but make it good.
I hope that happens again. That was a love affair for the ages to remember. And one of like the really iconic and pioneering like celeb couples. One of the first, if not the first, like portmanteau of names as a couple, I think.
Bennifer.
Like, I don't know if there was one before that.
And also, when I saw those pictures of him with Jennifer Lopez with the world's highest ponytail, like Ariana Grande found that in a ditch. It really took me back to exactly that time. Like I remember I was in high school. I literally had the thought when I saw those pictures, God, I miss Room Raiders. Like it took me exactly to that year. You know, the Jenny from the Block video, still a weirdly, it was not a huge hit for her, but really like kind of a banger song for her. And such a return to form because I fucking hated her second album.
I do love a link up between two Leos though. J-Lo and Ben Affleck are both Leos. I mean, and A-Rod was a Leo too. I was sad to see two Leos breaking up, but the power it can't be denied.
Yeah, you can't have two lions in a pen.
You can absolutely.
That was the original pitch for Keep It. Me and Lewis as Leos and Aida. And Aida, I know you got some.
Girl in the corner.
I know you got some Leo placements.
I just found out I have a Leo rising, which changes everything, which makes all this vanity make a lot of sense.
Ma'am, you were sounding like Aesop for a minute with that lion's wisdom. Jesus Christ.
What can I say?
Jason.
Yes.
Before you go, the podcast take line.
Yes.
What are people going to get from it? And are you telling them about the sports drama that we need to know? Like, if I'm listening, will it be like me getting like a General Hospital recap?
It's not quite that. The cool thing is I co-host it with Renee Montgomery, who's a two-time WNBA champion. So she gives you
How do we get that?
She gets you the perspective of what it was like. She had a great she was telling me the other day on the pod, you know, that in terms of feuds, like she played with players who had things against other players like that went back to grade school for whatever reason. They couldn't even unpack stuff that some of these where some of these feuds came from. I found that really interesting. So you get that perspective of what it's like actually to be one of these athletes on the court all the time, having to deal with trades, having to deal with feuds, etc.
If you could send the listeners away with like a great pivotal sports movie or television show to start watching or watch, what would you recommend for the kiddos?
Oh, right now, like on Netflix, if you just want to see the struggle, like Last Chance U, any of the seasons, most of the seasons have been about like amateur football in the past, but the current one is about players on a JUCO basketball team in Los Angeles, and it's like this is, you know, they all have the talent to play at a higher level, but they're a junior college because something in their life, something about the way they approach life is a little off. And can they figure it out? Can they like transcend a lot of the traumas in their life and get to that place that they want to be at? It's extremely compelling, and it is an amazing watch.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you for being here, Jason.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and the podcast is Take Line. It's on Crooked. So
Check it out.
if you know how to find Keep It, you know how to find Take Line.
That's right.